Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel, and this is another Java tutorial. And in this video I'm just going to quickly tell you the access specifiers, that is this public, and there are a couple of more. I'm going to tell you about that, and then I'm going to tell you about what are static and final. Okay, so let's just get started. So this is a class, right? And in a class you can declare variables like this. Okay, but there is one more thing in declaration. You can either declare them as public or private or protected. So what does this mean is, if you declare a variable public, it is basically visible to the whole world. That means this int x can be directly, by directly I mean by like this, like an object name dot x can be accessed anywhere in your program, in your maybe in some another package or some other class or in some function. It can be accessed anywhere directly. So this is a public, means which basically means that this thing, this int x over here, is a public. It means it's visible to public and anyone can use it. And similarly for functions also, public functions means it's available to the whole world and anyone can use it or call it. Okay, so that's the public. And so if you want something to be visible directly in your program, you don't want to make functions for getting stuff, you can just make a variable public and it will be visible to you anywhere in the program. And then we have a protected, and what protected does is, it will be visible to you, it will be visible to the world, not to the world, but it will be available to the class, the package, and the subclasses, which means the package the main class is in, or any class which is inheriting from this class, and the class itself, and not outside to the world, not other than that. So protected basically means that it is protected from the world, but it is available to the relative classes. You can think it like that. Like, you cannot use it anywhere directly now, but you can use this to the stuff where it relates to. Okay, so that's protected, which means I can use it in this package right here, but I cannot use it in another package. A package basically is a set of Java classes, if you are getting confused. So I can use it in the package right here, because this is essentially, this is one source package. And if I was to create another package, I would not be able to use this and that, and I will show you how to create packages soon enough. Okay, so anyways, and since this is a SUV subclass and there's nothing inheriting from the SUV class, I cannot use this x in any class. But say that this protected x was declared over here in a car, and this is a superclass, I can access that x using my SUV subclass. Okay, so that's the difference between protected. The public is available to everyone, but the protected is only available to relative classes. Okay, and now we have our private, which is the most restrictive one. The private variable is only available to me using the car class. I cannot access this in any inherited class or saying subclass. This private is only for this class car and nothing else. And to get the access of x anywhere, I'm just gonna remove this abstract things. To get the access of this x anywhere in my program, I can do like this. I can create a public getX method, which will simply return me the x variable. Okay, and I can give the return type as int and say that give me this dot x. which basically means that whatever this is being called by, whatever object is using to call this function, give me its value of x. So I can access it by using this, but I cannot access it directly by using saying a car name dot x. I cannot do that anymore. If I want to access the x value of the car name, what now I have to do is I have to do car name dot get x function. Now that's what I have to do now. That will be valid and not simply car name dot x. So that's the private variable. Why do we need these? We normally I have not used protected. I don't need to. I just declare most of the things public. But if I want something really to be only inside the one class, I don't even want to by mistake access it somewhere else, or say by mistake I don't want somehow user getting an access to this, I will declare it as private. Mostly all my functions are public, not like, because functions is something you need mostly everywhere on your program, so you have to keep most of the functions public. Like if, for example, this getX function should be public, otherwise I won't be able to access the x value anywhere I want. Okay, so these are the main access specifiers, and then there is one more thing, two more things actually. We have already talked about static, right? So static variables, I have told you, they are not gonna change for any object. You can say them as the class variables, which means the static things will be same for the whole class. So for any object created by using the class, the static will be same for those objects too. Okay, and there's one more thing which we can use. We can declare functions as static, right? Static void func, and we can just print nothing. So why do we need static functions? Say you see, if there is something inside the class, to access that class, to access anything inside this class, you need an object of that class. Okay, so say for example, if I need to access these functions inside my car class, I first need to create an object of car, something like this, car x equal to new car. I have to do it like this, and only then I can access the functions by simply saying x dot get x, or x dot func. I can call them by using this, right? But here's the thing, sometimes you just want to be able to access one function of a class. Like say for example, if we just needed our func function to be called in some another class or some another function. Okay, so creating an object, this car x will take the whole space of these. Okay, not these, like it will take an integer x, doors, top speed, current speed, and a string. So it will this x object will have bytes for all these. Okay, and that will be basically wasting memory. Okay, because you need to only call this function and do nothing then, and for that you are creating an object which will acquire this much amount of space, not this, because this is a class, a variable. It will be assigned to one block, and all the objects will share that block, and static variables are declared as soon as the classes are compiled, and whereas these are assigned memory as soon as you create an object. So that's fine. So anyways, our x object will take this much memory, and to access this function once, we will be wasting this much of memory. Okay, to save that, we can declare a function as static and simply access that static function by using car, the class name basically, dot the function name, and there it is. You can simply access it by that. If you don't believe me, I'll just quickly show you guys. I'll just remove everything. I will call car.func, and if we run this, it will be perfectly fine. It's gonna take a while, and there are some errors, and here we go. And driver X. I'm just gonna remove these, and I'm gonna focus on the errors right now because I just want to show you the access specifiers. It's basically some silly error because there is no car drive function in car anymore. So anyways, if you can see that it printed me nothing. So I just wanted to access this function of the class. So what the static keyword helped me is it saved me from creating an object and wasting this much amount of memory, this much amount of memory to access that function. That is the one basic use of static functions. And simply saying that static functions are something which are related to more related to class rather than being an object related. So like say static function about car, which says that car is a mechanical machine, is more related to the class car rather than the objects of the car, because it's telling us something about the car and not what a car simply does. Okay, so these are basically the static functions. Well, generally we use that for the first purpose I told you, to save us from creating an object for using only the function. That's what it saves us from. And then there is another keyword called final, which is basically a constant, right? So, okay, I think this hanged. Anyways, it's fine. So, this final int d2 is basically saying the same thing as that this d2 is a constant, d is equal to 2, d is equal to 2 is a constant, and it will never change throughout my program. So if you want to declare some constant variables like, say if you're calculating the area of circle or something like that, you need pi, which is 3.14, and it is a constant. You can declare it like this: final double pi equal to 3.141599265. You can declare it like this. So this pi essentially over here is a constant. It's similar to, if you know C, it's similar to hash define pi or const float pi. It's similar to that if you have some background with C. But if you don't, just think of it as a integer constant which will never change, or a constant value which you cannot change, or even the user cannot change throughout the whole program. Think of it as that. Okay, so anyways, this is pretty much it for this video. In the next video I'm gonna talk about something called interfaces, and then we are going to start the cool stuff, which is basically creating applications and stuff, the GUI and stuff, and you'll see that from then on. And anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you have any doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help you guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.